everyone, I'm Mirwani. I lead the Google Developer Experts Program for the Americas. We are here live at I/O. And this week we launched AI dev tools that really allow you to build anything. You're about to see a never seen before demo of how some of our GDEs have done that using Antigravity. I am here with two of the GDEs on the project. I'm here with Hemanth. Hemanth, hi, you're a web GDE. You've been on this project since the very beginning back in October. And I'm here with Simon. Simon's a cloud GDE, and you've been on the project since about April, right? Okay, so let's get into it. You guys have built a full AI race coach on the stack, the full Google stack, so Gemini, Gemma 4, Jetpack Compose, Pixel 10 using TPU chips all the way down. Okay, let's just get into it. We're live here at I/O. I just want y'all to know, if these guys were able to do a race coach AI using Antigravity, you can build absolutely anything that you want to build. So let's start with Simon. Now, Simon, let's be honest, you're a cloud GDE. Yep. You're not an Android GDE, and you built an Android app.
I did.
So tell me, how did vibe coding really get you where you wanted to be from zero to production grade using Antigravity? How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, it was the difference between success and failure. There's no way I would have been able to do this on my own, and I would have loved to be able to. The whole idea was I was able to talk to Antigravity and set the foundation a lot. So, I was able to tell it, first of all, what are we doing? Like, I told it the project that we're trying to build, the device, the hardware, the stack we want to build on top of. And then I was really candid with it around what I do and don't do well, right? I was like, look, I would love to say I'm a Kotlin expert, I've done all that. I'm not, right? And so I told Antigravity that, like, I come from a Python web app background, I don't know anything about all this Android development stuff. And that was the unlock, right? Because then it was able to kind of bridge those gaps for me. And so when I said I needed a feature, something like that, one, it could get it done, just make it happen. Two, it made me a better developer. So it was explaining to me through the whole process, like, this is why we're doing this. You might recognize this paradigm from other stuff you've worked on in the past. Yeah. But, here's how it applies here.
So you had it plugged into the car, and it was able to just do what you needed it to do. You didn't know anything about the car, but Antigravity managed to figure it out. I mean, so you're sitting in that car, like, you're revving the engine, you're kind of, how did Antigravity bridge that gap between I want this, as you're saying, and the app actually has that in it? Yeah,
so it's like having a really smart coworker, right? Like, it was doing the discovery of everything for me. So the real example is I have the Bluetooth data connectors plugged into the car. I've got that talking to the Pixel 10 device, that plugged into my laptop running Antigravity. And I was basically saying, look, I need to get the data out of this car, what do I do? And so it would tell me, hey, go to park, hold it at 2,000 RPMs, let me see what I can see. And it's sniffing the data in real time, coming into the device and helping me figure stuff out. And it basically was troubleshooting with me to help me figure out what I need to do.
I don't think people knew that you could do that with Antigravity.
I didn't know you could do that with Antigravity.
I think that's the whole thing. We're learning what we can do with this powerful tool. So Hemanth, same with you. You are not a race engineer, right? None of us here are, right? We're at I/O. We're not at the racetrack. So with you built a system that actually pulled the data from this very complex, rigid, embedded system in the car. And it was a high-performance vehicle. It's a race car. You pulled the data out of it. Tell me, what was the aha moment for you where you realized, hey, I don't need to be a specialist in racing to build a race coach?
Yeah. The aha moment for me was, I remember sitting with you in your race car for the first time in a race car, technically, and we connected the GPS device, and we connected it to the laptop, which has Antigravity running, and we said, you know what, the GPS device model is so-and-so, I've connected it to USB. How do I communicate with this device? What is the data that it is sending, and how can I interpret? These are some of the basic questions, like as if we are poking the hardware and trying to figure out what it does, which would have probably taken us maybe a week to read the manual, understand what are the commands that I need to send, how does it interface, is the driver up and running. So all of that headache was kind of taken care. But something interesting that Antigravity did was it kind of gave it an implementation plan. It said, hey, here's my plan. Can you review this and tell me how it works? when we read that plan, it was kind of clear that how this device is kind of communicating, which was like an aha moment, saying that, hey, this is the first time I'm even connecting a GPS device to my laptop, or Canvas, for the matter of fact. I didn't even know what Canvas was, and with Canvas you can go to the internals of the car, get the tire pressure, get the engine temperature, all of those, which is the real aha moment, that you can connect any hardware and start communicating with it.
I think people should start trying that. But now you're about to demo your application. It's called the Pit Wall. And I think a lot of developers, when they see something like this, they feel a little bit intimidated because it's just not in their space. And that's natural to think. But why should they look at your experience and what you've been through and feel empowered to do their own project today, even if it's outside of their domain of expertise?
Yeah, that's a very classic example that we are quoting here, right? Like, I come with a strong web background, and Simon is from the cloud, but we were able to, bake a native application pretty fast. I give this analogy, right? Like, I sit in your race car, I can't drive as fast as you, because you know how the car works much better than us, right? So it's about also kind of amplifying your skill. And if you have that skill, you could use Antigravity to amplify it quickly. So we were able to churn out multiple versions. We did a PWA, we did an like a Kotlin app, and then we did the Jetpack Compose. We were able to go from 0 to 80 very quickly. Even though we had less knowledge specific to the platform, we could also use like Android CLI and enable Antigravity to use that and bake apps quickly for us. So the 0 to 80 is super fast, and 80 to 20 is where you polish and make it better.
Right.
And one thing I'll call out too, I think is critical, is that we heard about this in the keynote yesterday, is that Antigravity is a harness that happens to be really, really good at developing applications, but it can be used for anything. And so me, at least, I'm a casual race enthusiast, but I'm not a race engineer. I was able to go to Antigravity and have a conversation in a separate thread, not about building an application, but about how does a race engineer think through this problem.
Interesting.
And it's able to help me reason and use its tools like Google Search and whatnot to help answer that question. So it's really the technical side of it, but also the relatively non-technical side of it, it was helpful for.
I think this is just the ultimate power tool for builders. And if you want to build, Antigravity is a tool. Let's see what you've been able to do with a very short period of time. I mean, I think you've been working on this for only a few weeks.
Yeah, a few weeks, and we did multiple versions, as I said, from a PWA to various versions of Android apps. So it's been a fun journey, and also getting early access to the TPU SDKs and trying them, it's been a fantastic journey.
One of the benefits of being in the GDE program.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, and we are doing a live demo here from Google I/O, and let's see how it goes.
All right.
Assume that you're sitting in your car, and hence we are doing the simulation here. I go ahead and hit the simulate track. What we are seeing here is Sonoma. That's where we will be this weekend with AJ's car, and having the real agent sitting right next to us and coaching on how our driving is, and kind of do some predictive analysis and say, hey, there's a turn coming up, you're braking too fast, don't be a bush. So yeah,
that's a good one.
So there's a lot of fun there. So, but here we are simulating, and I'm going to hit the simulation button. And what's going to happen here is you will see the car running on the track. The track that you're seeing on the screen is the actual racetrack that we will be there this weekend. I'm going to hit simulate, and hopefully you should be able to hear the coach speaking.
If the audio's up.
If the audio's up, you should be able to hear that.
No, and you can also see on the screen what the coach is saying.
So the audio's getting an issue, but what's happening now is the AI is telling you how to navigate through this course and how to optimize your line through the track.
Exactly, and in a real, when we're actually on the track, this will be in the driver's ear, giving that guidance. Obviously, this is going way faster than maybe AJ would like to go this way.
I would love to go that fast.
The interesting fact here also is we could have different personas for the coach, where we could say each of the coach behaves in a different way based on the driver's preference. We're also enhancing this app to kind of have a feedback for the driver before and after the race. It would be more like a conversation with the agent, saying that, hey, you will be on this race track, and this is how the racetrack looks like, and these are the turns, and you should focus your turns here. And it could also remember your driving from your previous races and say, your plus points are these and your minus are these. And after the race, again, there could be a conversation where we ask the driver and say, how did you feel about the race? And not to be very intimidating, but rather say, hey, you know what, you did good in these turns, but you could do better in these, and your braking was bad here, it could be better. So kind of give a comprehensive coaching, like as if there was a human who was doing the coach. That's the exercise we did too, right? Like we met a coach, and we were able to record and pass it to Antigravity and said, hey, go ahead, analyze this video and create a persona which behaves like this coach.
Exactly.
Great. So now, the whole thing though is, I mean, even that UI that we just saw in the demo you shared, that UI was also built with Antigravity, using that to kind of set the baseline and the framework. It sounds like really it took us about 80% of the way there. And it was that 20% that you had to do the fine tuning and make it right.
Yep.
And I think that's the hardest part people struggle with, right? Is getting to that 80%. And so we could spend that time doing it. And this is where we get the rubber to hit the road, right? Because this Saturday, we're going to Sonoma Raceway. We're going to take the pit wall application, we're going to put it in a real race car on a real racetrack, and we're going to see exactly how it performs. And so if you're around, if you happen to be watching the live stream, and if you're in the area, come hang out with us at Sonoma Raceway. We're going to be there. It's going to be a big setup. We'd love to see you. If not, you can check out our code lab that we've built. So the team, after the first run, built a code lab that you can go to check out the platform that we built, and you can just go to codelab.google.com, .dev, codelab.google.dev. Go there, you'll be able to run that code lab. And then next week, if you want to meet some of the GDEs that have been doing this, the GDEs will be presenting at the AI Learning Lab. So look that up, AI Learning Lab. You'll be able to see the GDEs live. They'll be going through some pieces of this as well, and you'll be able to talk to them directly. So with that, thank you so much, both of you. Thanks for being on the project. Thank you, Hemanth. Thanks, Simon. Let's see what happens on Saturday, you guys.
It's going to be fun.
All right,
Absolutely.
and thanks for joining us here at I.O.